God.
I feel like I'm turning into the Joker. Smile, be happy.
I still haven't recovered. I'm still sick. Not fully, but virus is still going on, so there will not be yelling. There will not be anger. This is just NASCAR being NASCAR. I hope they don't take any of this personally. If anyone from NASCAR watches this is nothing personal. I'm gonna try and come off in a very professional way because I'm on your side, NASCAR. I'm on your side. I'm going to keep it as real as I possibly can, and I can be more real than others because I am not employed or affiliated with NASCAR in any way. However, that does not mean I'm going to come out here and just trash on your sport. That is not what I'm going to do. I'm giving you constructive criticism. So please listen, because what you saw tonight, and if you came here for a race review, by the way, guys, we can't talk about the race. I will say one thing about this is that I thought the racing towards the end was really good, a lot of fun. Shout out to Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, the three of them. I thought they raced clean. I thought they raced fair. They put on a really good show. I thought that was what was going to be the talking point, and it was going to be a positive night for NASCAR, and that the next-gen car performed better. The tire was better. It was laying down rubber. There was tire fall off, and you had three guys in must-win situation all racing fair and clean, showcasing to the rest of the world that you don't have to wreck people and dump people and do whatever you have to do just because the system says so. You don't actually have to do that, and you can still race with honesty and integrity and respect. And I thought all three of those, which are, in my opinion, are three of the best in the sport, I would put all three of them in the top 5 of drivers of the sport. And they all did a fantastic job. So before we go into the issues with what happened with the the controversy, I don't want that to get lost, is that Ryan Blaney, Larson, Elliott, not only them, I mean, Brad Keselowski put on a really good run today, Denny Hamlin fighting from the back. The overall race itself, I thought it was an excellent race. I really did. It's not old Martinsville with, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6. This car still has issues with this track, but they did a better job, and they're working with it. So I do appreciate that. The controversy and all the nonsense comes, and NASCAR. This is why I'm you guys watching. Trust me, you're not going to see an angry me. I am being as nice as possible to them and trying to explain to NASCAR officials, race control. There's a lot of issues going on right now with NASCAR race control. Well, we're going to get into that, but I'm not trying to be critical. I'm not trying to come off as a dick. Like, I'm genuinely trying to be as professional as possible, and just saying dick, I'm probably not being very professional, but I'm being real. That's my MO. Let's get the facts of the matter here. I'm going to put up this tweet by Jeff Gluck. He goes over like the suspect situations that happened. You could see what he said here. And there's still a little bit more to that. So we have a couple of instances here. The situation was that there was a points battle. Christopher Bell was 1 lap down. He could not gain any more positions. Only Byron could lose positions. So we advanced to about 15 laps to go. And Bubba Wallace is getting lapped. I think this has happened actually earlier than 15 laps to go. But Bubba Wallace is getting lapped by Kyle Larson, by Ryan Blaney, by Chase Elliott. So he is, at that moment, a full lap, still not full, but like he is at least 3/4 of a track ahead of Christopher Bell. When Bubba Wallace goes a lap down, that is the next car that Bell can pass, and that is obviously a Toyota. You have William Byron, who got passed by, I think it was, he got passed by Blaney, then he got passed by Hamlin. I think he also got passed by Keselowski. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not looking at the race results. But then you had Austin Dillon, which is RCR, and Ross Chastain, which is Trackhouse, and they were the 2 cars behind them, and those are obviously Chevys. I'm just giving you guys the context, you know what's going on here. Now, here's the impressive thing. Obviously, this was talked about before the race, or this has been talked about over the course of the season, that if a Chevy can make it versus a Toyota. They had this pre-planned before the race even started, which is insane to me. But basically, I was watching Austin Dillon, and Austin Dillon, I knew when he caught Byron and he wasn't making a move on him, I was like, okay, Austin Dillon's going to stay behind as a Chevy teammate. And then I saw Ross Chastain come around the top, and I was like, maybe Chastain doesn't care. And then I thought about the conversation that Rick Hendrick had with Ross Chastain like a year and a half ago or something, 2 years ago, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, they're probably... he's not going to pass that 24 car. And for 10 laps, you had Austin Dillon and Chastain running side by side, both on fresher tires, both clearly faster when they caught Byron. And you can't even make the excuse of dirty air because Chastain had clean air on the outside. No, you can't make that excuse. They ran a barricade. They ran a barricade for William Byron. And then you also had Hocevar, another Chevy that was back there. They were running a barricade. I think actually Kozlowski was at the back of that, so maybe, I don't know who else passed Byron. But they were running a barricade so that a Ford or a Toyota could not pass William Byron. That looks quite obvious to me when I was watching. It becomes even more obvious when you hear the radio from the 3 car. And basically, I don't have the exact quotes, but if you look it up on Twitter, you can find the exact quotes. But basically, the quotes are... someone on the 3 team basically said, like, do you remember the deal? And they're basically saying that Byron is 1 point ahead of Bell. Do you know the deal? Austin Dillon's like, how many laps to go? Does their spotter know? I'm just paraphrasing basically what they say, but do they know? And they're not mentioning names. Like, do they know? Does the spotter know? Are they talking about Ross Chastain? This is a coordinated effort to get a Chevy into the championship race. And it's because you already had a Ford and you already had a Toyota in, but you didn't have a Chevy in. So Chevy was going to try to do everything they can to get at least one in. And it was likely that they would. It would be a very weird circumstance if they didn't, but Ryan Blaney winning puts them in a bad circumstance. And so that is happening. Then with 5 laps to go, Bubba Wallace falls off the face of the planet in terms of speed. With 3 laps to go, he comes on the radio and says, I think I have a tire going down. We have heard this story before. We have seen this story before. It's a load of BS. And I feel bad for Bubba Wallace that he has to play a part of this, but it's a load of nonsense. You did not have a tire going down. Bubba Wallace slows down over the course of 5 laps, and he slows down just enough to make it look... He's trying to make it look like it's not bad, but he was getting passed by William Byron on the white flag lap, and he slowed down enough to find a way back to Christopher Bell, and then Bell overdrives turn 3 when here's the thing I don't know. I can't assume that Bell knew that Bubba Wallace was slowing down for him, but he knew he had to get around the 23, so he overdrives the corner and he hits the wall, and he doesn't know if he's gonna lose a position by hitting the wall, so he just gasses it up on the wall, right? But the whole Christopher Bell situation is the least problem out of all of this. Him riding the wall. NASCAR comes out with the decision. I waited, guys. I waited to make this race review. And let me pull up NASCAR's decision just so I can be very clear on what they said. So the championship order is set. So the penalty is that NASCAR deems that the number 20 car incurred a safety violation. He is placed in 22nd position, the last car 1 lap down. So what they ruled is that because Christopher Bell overdrove the corner, hit the wall, and then because he hit the wall, he didn't want to lose position, so he decided to gas it up and ride the wall, which is illegal since Chastain did it, and that is in the rule book. That is the rule that they could find in the rule book that they could rule on. So they penalized Bell, okay? They completely disregard the race manipulation by both Toyota and Chevy. Now, in the end, Toyota's the one that gets penalized by not having Bell in the championship race. But they didn't penalize the race manipulation. There's 2 incidents here that happened that are complete race manipulation that was not penalized. Have we seen a situation like this before? Yes, we have. We have seen Kevin Harvick intentionally wreck the field at Talladega to advance, by the way, because his engine was blowing. NASCAR didn't make a decision on that. We saw at Richmond in 2013, the other one that Jeff Gordon became like the 13th driver or whatever, where Michael Waltrip Racing was causing intentional cautions or whatever to get I think it was Clint Boyer in or something like that. I don't remember the full details, but yeah, that was the one race manipulation aspect. There is nothing in the NASCAR. This is me guessing. This is me guessing as to why NASCAR didn't make the call. They couldn't find something in the rule book they could legitimately state that proves what Chevy and Toyota both did. I don't know if that rule of you have to give 100% is like actually in the rule book, you know, when they said that all those years ago. But both Chevy and Toyota cheated. Both of them. And it doesn't even involve teams. It doesn't even involve Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing, because this also involves Trackhouse racing. This also involves RCR. This also involves 2311, which in addition to Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing. NASCAR are literally at the balls of the manufacturers, of the OEMs, and they succumb to it. What we saw today is that NASCAR doesn't have control over their own sport. Chevy, Toyota, and Ford run NASCAR. That's what we saw today. Because Chevy and Toyota purposely manipulated the race using cars from multiple teams under their OEM, under their manufacturer, and they got away with it. The only reason Bell was not able to advance is because he rode the wall. And that's the one thing NASCAR could find in their rule book that they could penalize. So that's what they did. They didn't even address the barricade that was going on for William Byron for 10 laps. They didn't address Bubba Wallace slowing down intentionally for 5 laps. They did not address that. They have a chance. I'm going to give... Here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to come here and yell at NASCAR. NASCAR, you have a chance. You have 3 days. You have until Tuesday or Wednesday. You got to make this right. Seriously. If you ignore this, if it's over. I mean, literally every race fan, it's done for you. This is the breaking point. I personally believe this is the breaking point. For the fans of NASCAR to NASCAR, this is it. Because even the journalists are going to turn on you. I'm not turning on you, NASCAR. I'm just saying what is going to happen. If you don't face this, it's over for you. All credibility, you might as well just call it NASCAR entertainment. You know, bookmark it, promote it like WWE. You might as well. It's a show. It's drama. It's this is not a sport anymore. It's not a sport. Because what you saw today was race manipulation that went unpunished. Again, I don't blame the teams. I don't blame the drivers. I blame most of it on the system. This is the system that you play. The drivers and the teams and Chevy, Toyota, and Ford, the manufacturers, play according to the system. There's so much money on the line just to make this championship race. The difference between getting into the championship race and not getting into the championship race means a lot of money for these teams and these manufacturers who are desperate for money because they don't make a lot of money because NASCAR takes most of the money because of the licensing deals and the media deals that they come up with, which is why currently NASCAR is being sued because of those deals by 2311 and by Front Row. This is a mess. This is a mess. There's no getting away around it. This is one of the darkest days for NASCAR. One of the darkest days. I was there for 2013. I saw it, and they put Jeff Gordon in as the 13th car. I saw Kevin Harvick purposely wreck an entire field at Talladega on a green and white checkered because his engine was blowing up and he needed a caution, and yet NASCAR didn't do a thing about it. And you know what? I still give Kevin Harvick credit for making it look somewhat like an accident, like I missed a shift. That's why he was able to do it. This is the darkest day. You have 2 of your own manufacturers legitimately manipulating the race for their benefit, just to abuse your playoff system because of a win and you're in method and eliminations and all of this nonsense. If this is not the breaking point for your playoff system, there will be nothing that will break this playoff system. The majority of your fans do not like it. The majority of your teams and drivers do not want it or like it. You have Bell and Byron looking disgusted after the race because they don't want to do this. They don't want to be a part of this. This is their job and they want to win and they want to make money and they want to race. That is what they enjoy doing. They don't enjoy being pawns on a chessboard for manufacturers to try and just get them into position into a one-race championship. Your entire sport is a joke. It's a joke. I can't believe what I am watching. And I can see this from, I wasn't in my house. I was walking my dog. I was watching on my phone. And as soon as I saw Austin Dillon refusing to pass Byron, I knew something was up. And when the situation arises that it comes to one point, I knew something was up. I don't want to make this video too long. We'll talk about this tomorrow as well. But NASCAR, you guys have to. I'm begging you, please, for the sake of your. I don't know what the leaders want, and I'm gonna be truly honest with you guys, with the channel, with everybody. I'm gonna be truly honest right now. I have been looking for employment in multiple different industries. NASCAR is one of them. I've applied for jobs within NASCAR. I've talked to people within NASCAR. I've had phone conversations with people in NASCAR. And I'm like, hey, I want to do this in certain departments. I want to help make the sport better. And you know what they say? They say, hey, we do a check on your social media. I've said a lot of dumb things, man. I know that. So to NASCAR, I'm looked at as a red flag. I'm probably never going to be able to work in NASCAR, in the industry, because of the things that I have said. I'm being completely transparent with you guys. I have been looking for employment for the past 2 months, and NASCAR is one of the industries that I've tried going into, and I've had a conversation with someone that works in the gaming department in NASCAR, and I was like, hey, this is my passion. I want to get involved in this. And because they do like a lot of background checks on social media and stuff, and they see what things you've said about NASCAR, like if you badmouth NASCAR or if you badmouth iRacing, whatever it might be, that's going to put them off from hiring you or giving you a chance. I am still saying all this while trying to get involved in NASCAR because I want to make the sport better, whether it be in the gaming section, whether it be the sport as a whole. I want to have a career within NASCAR to actually make it better. I'm being completely transparent. So it is hard for me to come make this video and have to literally bite my tongue. And I'm trying not to I'm trying to just literally be professional. I'm not bad-mouthing your sport. I am not trying to criticize you. The fact of the matter is that this is a terrible look for the sport. This is a terrible look. Because there's nothing positive that comes out of this. You're putting so many people that are not directly involved in this. The drivers on the racetrack, crew chiefs, they're just trying to do their job. Engineers, pit crew members, whatever, sponsors, all the people that work within NASCAR that don't have like a direct impact onto the racetrack. There's so many departments in NASCAR. There's so many things that people do, by the way, that don't have anything to do with what's on the racetrack. And you're putting everyone in just an uncomfortable position because this isn't NASCAR. This is not what you are. If this is what you want to become, then you will peter off, and I'm not going to say die, but you will peter off, and a lot of people are going to leave you, and you're not going to grow the sport like you should. What happened today is a disgrace, and you still have a chance to fix it. You still have a chance. You have 3 days. Please look over the race manipulation. The problem is you have the manufacturers that literally, if Toyota or Chevy, if they leave, it's over. It's like they have all the power. So this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. I hope you guys can appreciate my transparency, by the way, because I just had to say that so you guys, where I'm coming from. I'm trying to be very nice, man. I'm trying to be very reasonable. There are going to be a lot of people out there that are going to cuss you out and say they're never going to watch again and call it a travesty. I'm never going to go to a racetrack. I'm never watching it. I'm going to watch next week. There has to be a change at the top. At the top, you guys got to make the decision. The system that you have implemented, because NASCAR, you are a sanctioning body. You're an organization. They play by your rules. All the chess pieces play by your rules. Your rules are broken. There is clear race manipulation being made here because of the system that you guys implement to determine a champion. And determining a champion should be an amazing thing. And to be a NASCAR champion should be an honor. But at the moment, people don't want to even... You have people that don't even want to talk about it. Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin... Well, Denny Hamlin will probably talk about it on his post-race podcast, whatever. Chase Elliott will go home in Georgia and probably play Call of Duty Black Ops 6 because he wants to get away from this. He doesn't want the nonsense. Kyle Larson's going to go dirt racing. He doesn't want to deal with the nonsense. I'm rambling on, but you're creating too much, man. You're creating too much nonsense. Please fix this. Congratulations to Ryan Blaney. I'm going to make another video tomorrow talking more about the championship race and everything and stuff like that. Maybe there'll be more developments. But guys, tonight was a very bad night for NASCAR. Really good race. Really good race. I thought the race was really good. I enjoyed the battles and stuff. Let's not forget that. Yeah, it's a bad night, man. It's a bad night. They have gotten themselves in one hell of a mess. And William Byron has advanced. You know, he is going to race in the championship. And I don't know. Like my opinion is that you DQ both the 20. And they basically did. They didn't DQ him, but, you know, they basically knocked him out of the playoffs, is that you DQ both the 20 and the 24. That was my thinking. And then after that, I didn't know. Because there's nothing in the rule book. What do you do? Was Jeff Gordon supposed to be added as a 13th driver? I don't know if that was in the rule book. They just did it. They just made it up. Do you only run with 3 in the championship race? Is that logistically possible? Is there sponsorship obligations or something you have to, like, will your partners, like, demand money from you if there's not 4 drivers in the championship race? Like, does Phoenix get inked? Like, I don't know. There's so many issues and problems that arise from this, because the right thing that should have happened is both the 24 and the 20 get DQ'd. But then there's so many other problems. What do you do with Bubba Wallace, who slowed down intentionally? What do you do with Ross Chastain and Austin Dillon, who you have to find a way to prove that they did cause the barricade, and they did. They definitely did. Trust me, they did. They're trying to be as nonchalant and secretive about it as possible, but they created the barricade. You have SMT data, but will that help you at all? It's literally too much of a mess. It is. Oh boy, it's just too much of a mess, man. It's too much of a mess. It's a very bad night. I'm gonna end it there because we'll talk about this more tomorrow, guys. It's it's a very, very bad night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.